from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
New bike lanes for one Henrico County neighborhood, the school board meets today, and how to help Henrico firefighters fill the boot virtually. We'll have details about those stories and more on today's Henrico News Minute for Thursday, August 27th, 2020. It's brought to you today by Humana.
And now for the news.
The Henrico County School Board will host a work session beginning at 1 p.m. today. Among the items on the agenda, the board will receive an update from its health committee, which is tasked with making a recommendation ultimately about when to return to in-person learning. The committee is evaluating data according to a four-tiered approach. The planned virtual return for most students is Tier 2. The next tier would be a hybrid of in-person and virtual learning, while the fourth tier would be all students returning for 5 days with fully virtual learning still available. While today the committee will just provide an update to board members, on October 22nd it is scheduled to provide a recommendation about how the school system should proceed with the second 9 weeks of school. Also at today's meeting, the board will discuss and hear an update about the School Resource Officer program. Several new requirements took effect statewide July 1st thanks to legislation passed during this year's General Assembly session. Among them, the establishment of the Virginia Center for School and Campus Safety, which is tasked with a number of directives, including providing school safety training for public school personnel and a model critical incident response training program for public and private schools statewide. The laws also require localities to update their memorandums of understanding related to their SRO programs at least every 2 years, and require them to annually report data to the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services that shows the use of force against students, including the use of chemical, mechanical, or other restraints, and instances of seclusion, detentions of students, arrests of students, student referrals to court or court service units, and other disciplinary actions taken by school resource officers involving students. In Henrico, there are 35 SROs in public schools, including one at each middle school and at least one at each high school, according to Henrico Police Lieutenant Colonel Linda Toney. We'll have complete coverage of today's school board meeting. You can follow us on Twitter at Henrico Citizen and watch henricocitizen.com later for a full recap. Well, one Henrico County neighborhood now has new bike lanes. The Cedar Grove community, which is located in the Fairfield district between Woodman and Mountain Roads, yesterday officially celebrated the new lanes with Fairfield District Supervisor Frank Thornton and other county officials. They are the first bike lanes in the Fairfield district and came just days after the Cedar Grove Homeowners Association contacted Henrico County Public Works officials, who then striped and signed lanes in the subdivision. The county now has about 9 miles of bike lanes and anticipates adding more in the future. Most years at this time you would see Henrico County firefighters collecting money on the streets for the Muscular Dystrophy Association through its Fill the Boot campaign. But because of COVID-19, the fire division has turned to a fully virtual campaign this year. You can visit henricofilltheboot.com to make a donation. The division is also asking people to come up with a superhero name for themselves and use the hashtag HenricoFillTheBoot on social media, as well as hashtag #BeASuperhero. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Humana. Turning 65 and have questions about Medicare? Humana can help. Call licensed sales agent Eric Jones at 804-253-0056 to learn more.